And now, your Planned Parenthood moment of the week.
What is wrong with you? Where's the receipt? Go return it.
Fuck that. It's my money. I wanted this, and I've always wanted it.
Use all your money.
I have like 700. How much was it? Only 200.
Bullshit.
It's the Batman bonus bag.
Batman.
Batman! You know Batman? The fucking superhero?
Give me. I'm not. I swear to God, I'm calling your father and you're punished. Give me the goddamn receipt, you fuck.
That's much too vulgar a display of power.
How much is it, Mom?
$500. Five. Get in this. Take it back.
No!
Take it back.
No!
No! You just wasted fucking $500?
There we go.
And we're back. Andy Frasco's World Saving Podcast, a Halloween special. Yes, baby. We got the ghost man himself, Michal Menert. Hi.
Hi there.
Hot from Pretty Lights tour. Wow.
Oh,
the
yeah.
boys are back in town.
The boys. It feels great, honestly.
How's the tour been?
It's been amazing. I mean, doing 4 hours a night, 3 nights in a row.
Fuck.
That's a lot.
With material that, like, we're trying not to do any repeats, really.
Wow. For the whole tour?
Well, no.
A weekend,
The
yeah.
first,
A weekend.
The first 3 weekends we did, so the first, 30 hours, I think we only repeated 6 songs.
Holy shit. That's a
we're also-
lot of material, dude.
But we're also, fishing out in the sense that we're doing,
Remixes.
23-minute version songs.
Right.
But
They're
it's cool
jamming.
because we've deconstructed stuff and we have a formula for basically being able to experiment and do a different version,
I've never seen so many grown men cry at a fucking concert. Pretty Lights is back, baby. Let's go. We're back.
Yeah.
Dude, people are so excited. Like, you guys are back. It's like, I loved watching it in Denver. And my buddies were at your show at the Salt Shed in Chicago.
Yeah.
And they're just like, I didn't grow up listening to Pretty Lights. I didn't know the magnitude you guys have towards the scene. It's pretty amazing.
Well, and for me, it's amazing to be able to come back to something that I was kind of, originally part of, and then was friends with, and in the same on the label, and all the crew was together. But
Right.
For the longest time, these songs kind of unknowingly, subconsciously, became a soundtrack to a lot of my formative years as a musician and a touring artist, and to be able to have a chance to recreate them live and give them a new life with my
Yeah.
best friend, it's magical. It's like you don't realize how much songs that you've heard kind of passively or just at shows that you opened or whatever, your friends' songs that you may have been on tour with multiple times that you didn't really have a part in creating, and all of a sudden you have a chance to kind of reinterpret them, and it's like this thing where you realize, like, man, this is like this beautiful story that I get to keep adding on to.
Right.
Yeah, what was that like when you got the call from Derek? Did you see your phone? Like, oh fuck.
Well, no, I mean, we were working together for a while before that. He's been working on shit since the hiatus in 2018, and I've been kind of going down there without any hey, we're gonna be Pretty Lights together again, or what this is. I mean, it's still very very loose, and I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't.
Right.
I don't want to disclose too much of the story
Yeah.
or whatever, because I'm sure that there's the team wants to tell it
Right.
in a certain way, and I only have my perspective,
Right.
But I mean, really, Derek has spearheaded so much of the visual and the live stream, and just all of the way that the things interact with each other, and just finding a way to make, basically taking the time off to be what did I not like about what we were doing, what did I like, what did I want to step up towards, and that's what makes, I think, Pretty Lights above and beyond so many other electronic groups that have the same sound or a similar sound or a similar aesthetic, is he cares so much about all the other aspects than the music just as much as the music, So
Yeah.
it's most people are yeah, I'm just gonna have some visuals, some lights or whatever.
Right.
Whereas he's he has a real vision from start to finish, and he's always had that. I remember when we were first starting out, and he was talking about going on the road by himself and stuff, and was telling me all these ideas for how to have an LED wall before anybody was touring with that, and I was kind of that's crazy, man. I couldn't even envision it, I was I didn't see what the value was for a fan, because for me, I was always more about the music and the performance. But it's with electronic world, is the performance sometimes takes slightly a back seat because you're not playing every single part of every song. A
Right.
lot of times it's kind of like a mix between DJing and playing on top of stuff and then reinterpreting it and whatnot. So being able to have a companion piece visually, I think is amazing.
Damn, was he like one of the frontiers of having an LED light board
Oh, yeah.
for a DJ?
I feel like
Holy fuck!
mean, he
now
was-
everyone, it's like industry standard to have an LED board.
You can't even
with-
DJ if you don't have an LED background.
Yeah. I mean, I remember like his first, headlining tour in the country was playing like 300 to 500 person venues. He brought an LED wall.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where it was like taking a slight hit to be able to bring this production that then everyone's like, I got to see it next to it.
Right.
So he's a genius in that sense, as well as musically. And it's just being able to be a part of it and kind of see it from behind the scenes. I appreciate it so much more than when I was like, when it was just me and my friend fucking around.
All right, so before we talk about the first show, what was the first practice like when you all finally got in the room again?
I mean, the practicing, we had multiple things where we'd have different members kind of come and we'd deconstruct a song, and I'd have like, the original sample chopped into little one shots on SP404. I'd have keyboard sounds that were similar to like, I have Mellotrons. I'd kind of mimic some of like the more organic, like the pianos and the strings, the vibraphones, that kind of stuff, organs. And then Borum would have like synths and stuff like that. And we would just try to like see like, let's take the training wheels off, see if we can create this song in a format that's fun and flexible, but doesn't just sound like a band kind of covering with all, with Casio sounds, like, and it was amazing. And I mean, we rehearsed for the whole summer, like a lot of weeks were 6 days a week, 10 to 12 hours a day in this warehouse.
I was talking to Borum, like you guys were practicing.
We were practicing, and a lot of it was like, we'd prepare a lot of stuff. We go back and forth, me and Borum, me and Carnes, me and Derek, and it wasn't just like we were just all playing instruments the whole time. It was like we basically do all this prep, and then for a few hours a night we'd have like a swirl where we just kind of take a thing and do like an extended, almost ludicrously long version of a song to kind of just see where it can go, being able to communicate and have Derek kind of guide the way of where he wants it to go, seeing like different places where we can take it in terms of like reinterpreting, being able to have like a lot of things midied out so you don't have like the warp of time stretching, so then we can like slow things down and speed it up and
without changing like the sound of it.
And we have like we have
Holy shit.
we have a few different techniques that are implemented. Like we have our own mixes, so we can kind of listen to ourselves playing something before we send it to his mix.
Oh, that's cool.
And then we also have a secondary mix of the band where we can all go into it.
So you can mute yourself?
We can all write a B part on the fly while the A part's playing and be like,
Right.
Holy
yo,
shit!
wait,
you
wait,
guys
wait,
are
hold on,
legit
hold on.
jamming.
yeah.
So you're saying you can
it's like so much improv.
Oh my god!
You're
this
saying
is
you can
so-
like mute what you're playing live so you can test it out and then send it?
Yeah. We
So
have,
only you can hear it, it's
Yeah,
not in the
so we have
house
a
or
mix that
even
has like the
anybody's
click
use.
track, the talkback, the master mix, the alternate mix of the band, and then our own mix.
Wow. So you can just be like, oh, maybe this will work, but you can make sure.
So it's funny because a lot of people are like, you guys seem like you're faking it because they'll see us like playing stuff and then hear it, But a lot of it is us just like trying to find new parts and new places to take it every night,
So when you feel like the part's ready, you send it to Derek.
Yeah.
We just talk about, I got something. I got a vocal sample. I've been able to just drag samples in and kind of like pitch them live and do a bunch of cool stuff. on
Yo,
the fly.
this is
you just have a hard
sick.
drive up there? Like you just have all your vocal samples on
Oh
it?
yeah. I mean, I pull stuff every time. It's a lot of times I'll like have something ready and like right when I'm ready to do it, we like switch.
Sure, yeah.
So it's like
That happens a lot.
Have you sent it to Derek once? He's like, nah, this is trash.
Oh, there's definitely times where like people aren't feeling it like I am,
Yeah.
But it's like, I try not to get an ego involved because it's just like we're all just trying to do some cool shit.
You're like,
you know?
yo, I
It's
got
like-
this Pavarotti vocal, man. Let's put this shit on it, bro. Wow. So now walk me through your first show. Were you nervous?
Oh, we were super nervous, man. I was. I mean, I have a guitar that I hadn't played really. I mean, I tracked a few little lines on albums, but like it wasn't anything where I played through a whole song. And I brought it to rehearsal, and Derek's like, "Yo, you got to play guitar." And I was like, "You've had like Krasno and all these great people," and I'm like in the headphones, like, beep, beep. Okay, these 5 notes work. I'm just gonna
Right.
kinda
That's
arpeggiate those,
one thing I learned about working with Menert is like, if you don't want to play something on stage, don't bring it to his house. He's the same way. It's like you play flute now, by the way.
Wow. So you guys walk up on stage. How was like? Did you cry? Like I feel like
I thought I was gonna cry, but it was honestly like, I mean, because we were at the first Bank Center that whole week rehearsing, and then we had like half a day off. We had rehearsals that night, and
with the LED wall rocking the whole thing,
the whole thing,
production.
because that's the whole thing is like we're trying to rehearse it
Everything.
like dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
You know, and
Right.
even in the warehouse we had the LED, we had Jack anti-alias, we had him, and then Laser Shark would fly in sometimes, and they'd like do like rough kind of like renders of the light show. So like we had a few of the lights there, but you know, it was all being built in unison. So it wasn't
So
just
fucking
it wasn't like
cool.
music and then the visuals. It was like, no, we're doing this, you know, we have like these Connect things that do point cloud real time, but you don't need lights on, so you can have like real time video of us even in the dark. But
Do people understand that you're doing all this live?
I think so. I mean, I think after they see a couple shows and they realize the different versions, you know, they have to be like,
So
this
sick.
isn't pre-planned.
I mean, at
And
one point, you just have to look at what's going on and be like, okay, there's no way they could have pre-done this. Like, it's not possible.
I mean, you know, we prepped like 70 songs in the summer, and like the first weekend we played like 12 songs that we didn't prep. You know, so like we were walking out on stage and being like, okay, this is in B minor, and it goes, and you know, like I knew the songs from listening to Pretty Lights, but I didn't have anything ready, so it was just like me, like I got a synth, a mellotron, a guitar, and a bunch of samples that I can tune to different keys, and we're gonna make this fucking dope.
Who was
you know?
freaking out the most?
Probably me, because I mean, like
Menert
like,
gets real nervous.
Well, it's because like you know, Bormley's so good at improv, and he's just, you know, he's a master. He's played with, you know, Lauryn Hill, Kanye, Modest Yahoo, Break Science, you know, Fugees, all these people, and he's just, you know, he's at a super high level. He's like a music director of the whole thing, you know. So it's like he understands things so well and can just be like, okay, cool, here's something cool on the roads. Here's a cool prophet ARP, you know, that kind of thing. And you know, Alvin Ford's the same way. He's
Alvin Ford's a fucking monster.
He's a
man.
beast. Like Derek will be like, okay, there's a dropout that's like a 5 count, and then like the next time it's a 13 count, and you know, I'll be like half paying attention. Then we get the song, and he hits it perfect.
I did have one question about the drums. Actually, now that we're there, he's playing all electronic drum pads?
He has a live snare and some live cymbals,
But there's a lot of electronic drum pads,
yeah.
right? So is that
And
like
he's
samples
actually-
from the record that are in his?
Yeah, well, and we just kind of we picked up like 16 just because it fits on the pads. You
Yeah.
know, different pads or different selections of drum kits.
Yeah.
And what the cool thing we have him doing too is he has a tuned 808. So he has like the
For key-
SPDS
for what key
where
you're
he can
in.
do what key he can like change the key and then do the 808 with his kick.
Oh, that's cool.
And so sometimes he's playing the bass. you know.
And sometimes Borum, I feel like, is playing synth bass too, right?
Oh yeah. A lot of times, and Borm has a MIDI clips for all the songs. And, I mean, it's a crazy thing, and I don't, you know, but like I was the most nervous because like when I came in, I was like, oh, I get to be back in this band I wanted to be in, back a part of again. But it's like, what the fuck do I do?
Was there any animosity or nothing?
No, man. Derek's been super. I mean, we've been super close, and it's just, you know, we've grown up. We're a lot healthier than we used to be, both psychologically and to ourselves and to others. You know, I think we've, you know, everyone's kind of found a little bit more humbleness in their nature and in their interaction and appreciation. So it's like,
He looks good.
oh yeah, he's great, and you know, just the love I feel from him is amazing. You know, it's like I couldn't ask for a better situation, and that's I think why I felt even more stressed because I was just like, everybody else here has a part. You know, Chris Carnes is a DJ. He has parts in the songs. They've done this before. I'm like doing show one. I don't know what I'm supposed to. I'm just going to play stuff on
And you
top
don't
of
wanna
it.
do- you don't
I'm
wanna
gonna
do
just,
too
like,
much.
Noodle like 3 notes on a synth on top of an existing Pretty Light song that everybody loves. You know, it's like I was just kind of like at one point I had a meltdown like a week.
What am I doing?
Like a week or two into the prepping and the rehearsals, I was like I spent like an hour trying to find like a new sample or something for this song, and I just couldn't do anything, and I just like started having like that panic attack where like my eyes started like tearing up. I think Derek saw it. And he came over. He's like, "How you doing, man?" I'm like,
Fine.
I think I should maybe leave." And he just gave me a big hug, and he's like, "You got this, man." It's like, you know, it's like you don't always have to be playing something. There's a lot of magic you can bring to a performance without playing notes. You know, it's like you can bring energy and kind of like, you know, leave spaces for people. And I mean, one thing about the way that I play instruments is I try to play like a producer rather than a soloist. So it's like I'll find like those. I'll be the guy that's like boom, boom, boom,
Right.
boom, boom. That's all it needs, you know. Like,
Right.
Rather than having a sequence that can be live and I can do some filters on it, you know. But it's like I don't feel slighted by being the person playing the most simple part, you know.
Look
So-
at maturity. I fuck with maturity, baby. We're growing. Damn, Michael, that's so awesome. And I would have fucking cried. Being back with your boys.
I
It's
thought
been
I was
a
gonna
minute.
cry. I think it was just like it was so overwhelming and so joyful, and you
Yeah.
feel the joy in the room that I was like, mission, I'm gonna cry the first night.
Right.
This is like such a huge moment for me, and it was just like, it was just so badass to be up there and just to feel the energy of everybody and like because we didn't know how it was going to go. You know, it's
Right.
like there's a lot. I've seen a lot of people in this realm,
Right.
And even I've even seen times where Pretty Lights has gone on tour with a band, and people be like, "Oh, I wish you the DJs." You know, just like people just have their own
Right.
their own version of like when they were the highest on ecstasy, and like, that's when the music made sense the most. You know,
Kind of true though.
and so it's like people recreating these memories that probably aren't even accurate. You know,
Right.
Like, I've had people be like, "Oh, I remember when Derek DJ'd at 6 hours." I'm like, just. Maybe once like, in a festival after party or something,
Yeah.
but like that
6
wasn't
hours.
a common thing, you know.
Right.
Like, and so it's like
That's one thing that's like amazing. Like people are experiencing you on drugs, so
Yeah.
the heightened experience of it is so intense that when you come back, you know, there's probably a lot of not
Parasocial.
Yeah,
kinda-
it's kind of like they better step up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
2008, bro, the
Right, right,
fucking
right.
fest. I'm like, these guys are.
It's like you're not as good as you were in 2008 either, fan.
yeah, yeah. Well, you know, and when it's a project that had that much of a, you know, like a cult following,
Magnitude.
and
Yeah,
magnitude, and such a huge amount of detail in the performance and the production, when that goes on hiatus for 5 years, people just assume like, oh, they're coming back with their magnum opus, you know.
Yeah.
So it's even more pressure to be like, you don't want to
Fuck.
be like, hey, check it out, here's the same songs,
And
you know?
especially like you're starting in Denver, where it's
Yeah.
like, fuck,
Yeah.
you know, like
Oh,
the opus of opus. Like I would have started in like fucking St. Louis. Or some shit, you know?
You know, it was funny too because we spent
bang one
like
out.
2 weekends in Colorado, you know.
Oh yeah,
And-
because you did Dylan right after that, didn't you? Yeah.
So now that you have
That's
a
so
couple
funny.
weeks under your belts, Chicago, now you guys are feeling comfortable now, or what?
New York was a turning point.
Yeah.
New York was a time when like, because, you know, making the sets and prepping them every day has been really stressful for Derek, and we've been trying to, you know, me and Boram and everyone have been kind of trying to give him some help and advice and camaraderie when he's doing that
Right.
the day of the show. But you know, New York, because of the whole scheduling thing with the flood, and we had an extra day at the end, and we were doing a Monday show. I mean, when's the last time you did a Monday show?
Dude,
I don't
not
know.
a long time.
Oh, that's
yeah.
right. You did a Monday show.
And it was like it
In
was actually
New
kinda
York?
cool. In New York.
Holy shit.
Was that because of the flooding or
It was
whatever?
the flooding,
Yeah.
you know. And so that night, it was like the one night where, you know, it was like he was like, I have songs I want to play. I don't have them in an order or a set. I'm like, cool. Let's just call it.
Monday.
Just Grateful Dead that shit, you know, and
Yeah.
just go from one to another how it feels.
Oh, now you're fucking comfortable.
Yeah,
now
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like,
And-
yo, we're going out.
and that was-
steal second
Well,
base, dude.
and that was the
You got the
night,
guy from
actually,
Michigan?
like right before our first set, I went and FaceTimed my mom because she was like in hospice and she was unresponsive, and my wife was there like taking care of her, and she's like probably gonna die soon, you know. And we played, what was it? Fly Away Another Day, The Time Has Come, all these songs that like felt like they had, we had a song that says something, All Things Come and All Things Go. And then we ended with Finally Moving. And 2 minutes before Finally Moving stopped, my whole computer glitched out, like in a way where like the screen was like frozen and shit like that. And I walk off stage and I get a text that's like, your mom just passed away 2 minutes ago. So it was like this crazy thing where like, and she died during an electrical storm in Fort Collins, where there was like lightning and all this stuff. My cousin was driving there, and her like all her electronics in her car turned off when she
Oh,
died.
I remember this story.
So it was like this crazy thing where it was like, you know, I was like, what the hell's going on with all this gear? It's never done this before. It's like, it's not like it's just frozen up because it's CPU. It's just randomly like I'm trying to move the mouse and it's 2 seconds later it's moving. And
Hold
like,
on.
you know,
Hold on. You were saying you were improving these 4-song set, like not even knowing, and all these songs about death and
Yeah.
like enjoying the moment happening, and then after that
Yeah.
last song, your mom died.
yeah. And it was called Finally Moving. So it was like she's finally moving on, you know? So it was like this whole thing where it just
Do you believe
felt-
she was in your computer?
I believe, you know, she was in the electrical field all around us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Kind of thing where it's like, I mean, we're all electricity or vibration or whatever you want to call it. You know, we're all movement of energy. And I think that she was just transitioning into like the plane that knows no boundaries.
Right.
Michael, this is why I have you in my house. Because I think I have ghosts in this house.
Yeah,
Do you feel ghosts?
I feel something, man. There's definitely a presence. Is it where do you? I feel,
Right here,
Right
this
here?
hallway.
This hallway?
And like in my room. I
Yeah?
can't. I don't sleep in my bedroom anymore. I sleep on the couch every night.
Yeah, I was feeling it when I came up the stairs. You know,
Really?
like a little energy. Is it? What have you experienced?
She's harmless.
Yeah.
I think she's a she. But she like watch me when I sleep, and I always wake up at 3 a.m. every morning, every night.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's one thing I noticed about ghosts is the fear. I feel like the fear happens more when you start thinking about it. You know,
Right.
it's like when you wake up at 3, it's not like you're freaked out necessarily. You
No.
know, it's like when you're like, oh shit, it's 3 o'clock again, and I woke up and I feel like I'm being watched. That's
Yeah.
when it feels. So it's like, I mean, you know, unless they can like do something more than just turning on and off lights and whatnot. You know, it's like there's. I don't think their physical plane power is very strong, and so it's like. I think if you just, maybe talk to her.
I do, but I'm a little nervous. But
What if it's just me?
what can I
fucking
say to
with
her?
you?
Like, how do?
Well, just express that, like,
Hey, I'm harmless.
just say that you're comfortable, and you know, if she needs something, you're happy to help.
I fucking knew there was energy in this room. That's why we have this motherfucker here. Thank you so much, Scott. Michael? Give me some. Were there any ghosts following the Pretty Lights tour? Were they big fans? Were they like there at pre-show?
Well, no. So we have this new song that we made, and my buddy Paul, he used to be Paul Basic, now goes by Prime Form.
Oh yeah.
He kind of started with a sample and gave it to me, and then I was like, "Yo, Paul's got this cool thing. We should collaborate with him with Derek." And so we ended up calling it "Chasing Rainbows" because it's got this sample that says, "Sunset means another day's gone by, and I'm still chasing rainbows in the sky. For a moment, there isn't any better way." And this fan, when we did Dylan, we played that song, and a rainbow appeared, and he lost his partner recently, and their whole thing was rainbows. You know, like rainbows like mark these moments, and he was like, you played that song and the whole thing about like for the moment there isn't any better way. You know, I got to try. You know, sunset means another day's gone by, and I'm still chasing rainbows in the sky. Right at that time, the rainbow came down, and he said he could feel his partner there, and he felt like this closure, kind of, you know, like where he was like. We used to go to Pretty Light shows, and this is the first time I've gone to one by myself, and I felt kind of weird, and all of a sudden I just felt her there with me, and it felt like
I
didn't have to worry anymore, you know?
So I can't fuck with this shit, dude, because it's like
Andy
this
gets
is just
scared.
so. I'm very scared.
that's
you
the
do
difference.
fuck with it because
But that's beautiful.
music is spiritual,
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's like you. I mean, you feel it, man. It's like that. There's times on stage where you feel almost like possessed, or when you're in the studio where it's like you go through this wormhole where you're like creating, and like 5 hours later you're like, I don't know what the fuck I just did, but we have a song, you know?
Right.
Holy shit!
So that's like
It's funny though, you guys, your relationship with ghosts is different. Like you're much more scared of him. Michael's more like
Yo, what's up?
they're just like in the room with him, and it's like we're all here chilling. You know
I mean,
what I mean?
it's
But
the
the one
same-
at your old house was kind of scary.
Well, for me, it's like
Yeah.
the reason I like horror movies. You know, it's like there's something kind of
Yeah,
you know, like tantalizing about being spooked. You know,
Yeah.
And it's like I like that. You know, it's like even if I get scared, it's like there's something cool about that. And it's also just like it's.
I like being scared. It feels good sometimes.
I mean, especially if you're not in danger. You know,
Yeah.
if you're just scared because you're startled, kind of. You know, it's like.
A little adrenaline.
And it also kind of, you know, it's like we all. I mean, I believe in something beyond what we can see. You know,
Right.
there's energies and things in the world, and just coincidences that aren't coincidences, and happenings that are so perfectly timed between people. Whereas you're just like, there's no way this could this could just be an accident. You know, so like things like the presence of spirits or feeling, the residue of something that used to be somewhere when you go to a place. Like there's, I mean, like you can go to old churches, and you can feel.
Oh,
the
for
vibe,
sure,
You know,
yeah.
so it's like it's not just necessarily a ghost presence. It's like the activities and the energy people put into a place. It stays on the walls. You know, it's like cigarette smoke around the paintings. You know.
Yeah.
You ever any ghosts like after your set with Pretty Lights? Like, man, that was a trash set.
Just fucking.
It's like,
Bro, I'm dead and I didn't like that.
no, but that's what like. But you talk about all these times, like, okay, spirits are just there, but has any spirit like really startled you?
I actually had to steer. See, I have this foot issue that's been going on and off. I'm about to get an MRI. I've gone to an orthopedic specialist, doctors, and all this stuff. For a while, I thought it was gout, because I'm a big dude. I eat and alcohol, but I checked all the purine and all the levels for it, and it was all within reach. And they did some X-rays and found some bone spurs from when I used to skateboard. But when I was in New Orleans working with Derek about this time last year, right? I was staying in this apartment that was like an old, brick and mortar kind of Airbnb down in like the business district, but it was an old building, And this one night there was just all these crows just cawing. I was like outside my window, like just a murder of crows in the street just cawing. And like I was like, I don't want to fuck with crows. I don't want to startle them. But then like after 2 hours of not being able to sleep and just hearing them, I went to the window and just pounded on it, right? And then I closed. It was like a big blackout blind, so I closed it. They flew away, and I laid down. And right when I laid down, I heard this in my room, like someone gasping. And I jumped up and I was like, I thought Borntown was in the other room playing video games or something.
Right,
I was
right.
just like, I opened the door. He's been asleep for 2 hours. I'm like, what the hell? And I go back to sleep and I wake up the next morning and like I can't walk on my ankle. My ankle's just like, it just hurts. It's this crazy
Whoa.
pain. And I had like this scratch on my back where I was just like, what the fuck happened? You know?
New Orleans is incredibly haunted, I feel like.
Well,
What?
And crows are like the the gatekeepers between the worlds, you know?
Why aren't they fucking with Borum? Why they gotta fuck with my boy Michael here?
Maybe he's not as open to it, though. Like
Maybe because they know I can take it,
Yeah.
Really?
you know? And some people aren't
Well,
open
that's
to
fucked up. You have a shitty ankle
I
now.
feel like the
it.
more
I've had a
open-
shitty ankle before that, but that just
Yeah.
was a time where like I was like, I was like jogging with Derek. I was being healthy, you know, I wasn't drinking it. I've really
Yeah.
barely ever drink, you know? And been taking care of myself for the most part better than I have ever before. And like I was down there and literally just woke up and I was like, I didn't do anything crazy to my ankle, and I just like I could barely walk.
What was the scratch like? Was it like nails or?
It was like 2 or 3 little like scratches like right here, like down the thing. It was like past the point where I could reach, you know. And there
Oh
was
my
nothing.
God.
There was nothing rough in my bed, you know.
This girl, Pearl, I was dating, she says demons scratch her all the time.
All the time?
All the time.
Why is she?
in
Why
her
demons?
bed.
Why demons? Not.
Or like whatever, a ghost
yeah.
or because she's the one who first said to me, you know, hey, there's something here in this house.
Really?
So people feel this shit, dude.
Yeah. How old is this house?
This house is from the 70s,
1970s, to be clear.
1970s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. So what about the next day in New Orleans? Like, did it come back? Did you feel anything?
I didn't feel anything, but I
the
definitely
crow shit is wild.
The crow shit is very wild.
I love crows.
and you know I know that crows like can remember faces and they don't like people fucking
Yeah,
with them. So
yeah.
I try not to like if nature's doing its thing, I'm gonna let nature.
Yeah.
But it was just after 2 hours and them just calling nonstop. I was like, I'm not gonna hurt him if I just bang on this window and kind of shoo him off. But literally, like it was like they were there for a reason, and I fucked with that, and then you know the spirit world fucked with me back. And that's how I felt, you know.
Oh my god! You didn't see anything? Right?
I didn't see anything. It was just like, you know, I was on this side of my bed, the window's over here, and between the window and the bed, it just sounded like someone was in my room, and I didn't have a fan or anything. It just sounded like someone like a big inhale, you know.
Whoa.
And I was just like, what? You know, like I jumped up and turned the light on and like looked around, like looked outside to see if maybe like something like there was like an aerosol can, you know,
Sure.
just anything that could possibly
car,
be like that, you know,
something.
like yeah.
New Orleans is kind of haunted.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's definitely haunted.
the most haunted city, I think. in the
And it
country.
also, you know, like with all like the, you know, like the voodoo and like the, you know, the Caribbean culture,
Yeah.
You know, rituals that have come over and are still practiced, and like in
Mm-hmm.
the way that they treat the dead, and the way that they have like, you know, these celebrations when people die instead of just like mourning. You know, it's the culture there is definitely a lot more welcoming to spirits rather than like shoo go to heaven.
Yeah.
You know?
I did a
So
ghost
what's
tour
your
there.
take on death and spirits?
I mean, I think that my take is this. I think that our own consciousness plays a big part of what our afterlife is. You know? So
Okay.
it's like you know,
Like if you don't want to die,
like if you don't want to die, you could be in limbo. If you feel like you're a shitty person and you didn't make amends with stuff, you're gonna go to hell in your mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like you're gonna be in this tortured state until you can find a way to come to terms with the things you've done. If you have made amends with people that you've hurt, if you've been a good person and helped, I feel like you can die with a clear conscience, and you can, you know, ascend to whatever the greater, you know, plane of existence or dimension is. You know?
wild.
That's my feeling. I mean, you know, it's when my dad died, we were staying at a family cabin that he built up on like the Colorado-Wyoming border, and me and my wife were in the room that my mom and him used to stay in. She was staying in a different room because she didn't want to stay there anymore. We were all with the family, and we woke up and he had written his name in like the dust on,
Oh my
on
god.
the mirror.
Yeah, fuck all that. See, I'm not into that.
I like it.
Oh, that gives me anxiety
But
just
ghosts,
thinking about
if you
it.
just think of them
why?
as nice people, they're
I
not-
don't know. Like
Like what part of it makes you anxious?
I don't know. I feel like they're just gonna like. I'm like. I think of like exorcists. Like I don't want them to be in my body and like
Yeah,
controlling me. Like,
I think it's a different thing, though.
Yeah, well,
Really?
I think it's different between like you know, wandering spirits and the deceased from the human realm. I think are different than like demons.
Yeah.
and conjured dark entities. You know, I have a friend that's like studying like shamanism and really like deep into this whole world of just like the, you know, beyond what we see. And you know, his teacher was saying that right now is a crazy time on Earth where there's a lot of change happening. You know, there's a lot of turmoil. It's like we're in like the chrysalis phase of being a caterpillar, where it's like ugly and juicy and gross, and things are kind of like stirring, and you don't want to look at that right now. You know, humans are like figuring out how to be better. Some of us are figuring out how to hurt each other. You know, so it's like this era of change. So there's all these interdimensional galactic travelers that are coming here to see what's going on and to kind of like pay attention and to try to, you know, put their fingers in the pie. And so that's what's happening right now, I think, is that there's like these interdimensional travelers.
That's why there's so many aliens coming over here, and like,
you know, and he was talking about how like there's, you know, he was saying, especially with weed opens you up, because we're all lights in the spirit world, you know, we're just these beacons, but like things like weed, because it kind of like it opens you in a certain way, it really attracts these hitchhikers that hang on to you. And he says that like everybody's got these hitchhikers, these, you know, past. Damn,
I want to get high now.
Like you know, like
I don't.
That kind of that are the things that sometimes make you feel sad or make you, you know, like give you like the bad feelings when you're like, I don't feel bad, but why am I feeling bad? You know,
right?
Like, and so, you know, he was kind of explaining that to me, that like right now is like a really, you know, it's an era of like peak overpopulation in the spirit world and on Earth, because they're all here to kind of like
check out the show,
and the ones that are like, you know, mischievous are trying to like
see if they
can tamper with it, you know.
Well, kind of like what
and a lot of the like the darker ones, they feed off of fear and negativity and violence and conflict, and so
that's
it's
me.
like
they're feeding on you, Andy.
I'm been last. I'm like, shoo, devil.
They try to feed on me, and they're like, "There's nothing here."
I'm dead inside already.
Yeah. I can just. I think I'll just take this over. Actually, this is mine now.
Wow, this is wild. So, do you think you can now go to heaven or the next entity because you and Derek are homies and like on tour now? Are back.
I mean, you know, when I got stabbed, I was going into the phase of, you know, your life flashing before your eyes, and I think that's why I'm not afraid of death, and I think that's why I've had more visitations from the spirit world, or more just awareness.
You talked about it in the last podcast, but why don't you do it again?
So what I'm saying is, you know, I was stabbed in the chest and I was laying there bleeding out, and my legs started going numb from the loss of blood, and I was just like, this is it, you know, like I just thought, I'm stabbed in the chest, it's not stopping bleeding. I don't know if it's through my heart or whatnot, you know. It's like it feels like my life force is dimming, and it wasn't, you know, like you always think like, oh man, I'm so scared to die. It's going to be so stressful, and it's going to be like this panic. But it wasn't. It was like this very peaceful thing.
It's calm.
Because I think your mind and your psyche just goes like, this is happening. You know, it's like, you know, it's like anything else. Like you can stress out about having sex with someone that you're really attracted to for the first time, but then as soon as like it starts, your body just kicks into like, oh, this is what we. This is like the one thing that I know how to do from birth.
Yeah, right.
So it's like it's that kind of thing where it's like you can psych yourself out, but once you're in that moment, your brain isn't thinking that anymore.
When you're bleeding out and was your life flashing before your eyes?
My life was flashing before my eyes, and I was just kind of like to me it felt like, you know, the desk clerk in my brain was just like, all right, this is the last shit we got to file before he's ready to go. You know, like it was kind of like your body. And I've read this about people that are, you know, I saw this with my dad on hospice when he kind of found out that when they came in, my dad was super jovial and making jokes and stuff like that. And 5 minutes before they told him his kidneys weren't going to work anymore, he was like, don't worry, it's going to be fine. They got, you know, I was like getting emotional, and they came in and they're like, sorry, Mr. Menert, like, you know, your only kidney has failed. There's nothing we can do. You're going to die in a few days. And you just see him shut down and go inward, you know, and just go start like preparing psychologically and all, you know, just putting everything in order so he can leave this plane. And I think that's kind of what you do. It's not scary. It's sad because we miss people, you know, but I don't think for that person that's sad. I think that they just know that they're like, okay, cool. I'm about to leave on this really dope trip and nobody knows where it really goes. So I'm going to get as prepared as I can internally and kind of like go through stuff. I mean, honestly, my only thought at the time of what I wanted to do is I was like, hey, if someone comes by with a cell phone, I want to call my girlfriend and tell her I love her one more time. You know, that was like the one thing that I was like wanted to do with my life still if I was going to die that night, you know? But I wasn't, I mean, I was a little bit scared or anticipating like, this is going to be kind of fucked if I die, you know? But it wasn't this overwhelming like, oh my God, you know, panic. It was just, you're just like, cool, this is happening, you know? And I could either like sit here and be a baby about it and like get hysterical, or I could just accept it and try to like use this time to feel life for the last time, if that's what it is.
Ever since you almost died, has it been easier to not take life for granted?
Yes, it's been easier to not take life for granted, and it's like I always compare it to like the extra ball in pinball. You know, when you're playing pinball and you think it's over, and then they're like, "Oh, extra ball."
Oh yeah.
So that's what it is. You know, it's like I'd come to terms with I was going to be dead when the doctor got me in. He said I have 50 shot, and if it went anywhere near my heart, it's probably over. You know, and they couldn't tell until they cut me open. So I was like, it was just basically like, here, we're going to put you under, and if you come back out, we did it.
Right.
You know?
Shit.
I had the same thing in my first car accident, but totally different because it's a head-on one. Where I remember thinking, "Oh, so this is how I'm going to die." As I'm rolling over, like you realize, you almost think like it was more. My thought was like, "Oh my gosh, I know how I'm going to die now," because you don't ever know how you're going to die. That was the one thing I remember being like, not excited, almost excited about. Like I was like, "Oh, this is it!" Like and then I didn't die. So.
I mean, I think
It was so weird. I just like came to, and I was like, I thought I was dead.
one of
for a
your
second.
biggest regrets of life.
I know exactly. It's been uphill ever since.
So if you're looking for spirits to come on you, not like literally come on you, but just attached to you, get some
Move to
dialed-in
Venice.
gummies. Shout out to dialed-in gummies. Grab yourself some dialed-in gummies. They are from Colorado.
Yeah.
And
Mega dose.
Mega
Yeah.
dose. If you want to really see some spirits, go grab the 50 milligram ones. If you want to just have a little, little stony trip, grab the 10. They're the best in the business. So shout out to Dialed In Gummies for this special ghost episode.
You know, it reminds me of Joey Coco Diaz. You know?
Oh, yeah.
He has that thing where he's like, "I'm gonna take fucking 400 milligrams and see the devil."
Yeah. He's got legendary dosage.
Wild shit. And you should really watch this on volume.com. Head to volume.com. Live streams. I mean,
Had a
are
cool
you
cape
guys
on.
Yes. Are you you live streaming any of these shows? Or are you making them experience?
All of them are 100% live streamed, and we have like cameramen
too, right?
and drones flying through. I saw one of the live streams, and I was like, "This is a dope recap." They're like, "No, this is like what's happening right now." I was
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
oh crap! It's like video quality. You know,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have like cinematic, like.
Dude, I've watched like your recaps. Whoever's making your recaps, that dude is a legend.
Oh, it's Lane Kelly, and then it's also Isaac Schultz, who's Derek's nephew.
Oh my god, it is so good. Like I was like, damn, this is like a feature film, dude.
Oh, yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying. And like the live streams are like that for like a lot of the shots, because we have these guys with these high powered cameras just going around and like capturing like these really cinematic, like, you know, wide frame lens.
And they're doing all those fractal things over it
Yeah,
too.
and it's just the whole team is amazing. You know, it's like the whole way it's being presented is it's not something that's like, oh, this just costs a lot of money. It's like very well thought out.
Right.
You know, it's like it's a way to do something that's magical that even if you had a lot of money, you couldn't recreate without the team that we have and the people that are dedicated.
Michael, you're fucking glowing, dude. He's back, baby. Our boy's back. Damn. Let's go. Seriously, anytime you want to be on this show, please come on.
I'd love to, man.
You're the best, dude. And you know, I know how, dude. He was fanboying so hard at your
like it.
concert.
I like
in
Michael.
Colorado.
You know,
Michael's one of like the 4 artists I'm actually a fan of.
and he's one of the people that like after the show I'm like, what do you think? Because it's like, you know, like there's
Because I wouldn't lie to you.
oh yeah, and I'm not bashing music fans, but it's like for the longest time I sat there and valued my own personal worth on people who I wouldn't take like, hey, what hat should I wear advice from?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like letting them decide how valuable I was to myself.
It was good.
But
It
I was like,
great.
you know, like.
I went to the third night of Mission for reference. If you guys want to judge if I went to a good show or not, okay? And I did. It was fun.
But yeah, you know, that's the whole thing too for me is like, you know, we've had music friends that have gone out of their way to go to shows,
Yeah.
you know, and people that I know
Feel
a
like
lot of times have hilarious takes on a lot of electronic music and stuff too.
Yeah.
You know, so to be able to have my friends that I look up to and feel like less than in terms of like technical ability, you know, like to have them be like, dude, that was awesome.
Yeah,
that,
it was
that means
great.
a lot because it's like, you know, PL fans, they have so much love for the material already that they're gonna find the things that they love in the night anyway. But it's like, but when it's someone that isn't just a fanatic that hasn't gone to 50 PL shows, you know, that comes to that and is like, and is also making music and is also knows what goes into it, and when they're like, dude, that was fucking dope.
Yeah.
That means that means a lot to me because it's like, that means that we're not only hitting the mark of like people that don't know what's going on stage, but people that can see what we're doing, are also like impressed.
My whole thing was it was just nice to see somebody come back, and it doesn't seem like just a cash grab. You know how like these bands always come back and you're like, oh my god, what's
the
like
opposite.
It's clear. I was like, damn, are these guys losing money? Did they sell 5,000 tickets at Mission and come out in the red?
I mean, you think about it. We had to get all that stuff off the ground. So we had 3 months of people being, you know, on a base salary. And rehearsing
With no
every day
shows.
with no shows, you know. And on top of that, we had people building out the production. You know, Greg was getting all the quotes for the lasers and all. You know, it's like all this money that goes into it, and it's like it'd be different if it was like this. We had a tour a year ago, you know, 'cause it's like a lot of the things would already be in place, but this is like you're taking a spaceship and building it from the ground. You know, from scratch.
But you got to build it before you get paid to fly.
Yeah. So you know, we all went into this with an understanding of like we all want to be here. It's not about the money. It's not about like whatever, and we're willing to take. You know, we're willing to like sacrifice our time and ourselves and everything to give the most we can to it. You know. So
I have one question. Do you think it's going to like change your approach to your solo music in some ways and your solo tours?
Definitely. You know, like I mean, I've learned so much just being around all these people, and it's. I mean. I'd have to be a complete idiot to not let it change.
Right.
Like just be like, this is an awesome thing. I'm not going to let this affect how I
Yeah.
dick around on stage ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
but,
this
you know,
is beautiful.
yeah.
Go see Pretty Lights if you haven't yet. How many more shows do you have this year?
If you can get a ticket.
Yeah,
got-
it's sold out like instantly.
We got 2 shows at Hula, 2 headlining sets at Hula. We got
First festival set yet?
no, we had a Cascade.
Oh, Cascade.
The power generator blew out its first song, and then we couldn't get everything synced. And then like at one point, about halfway through the set, I look out in front of house, it's completely dark, and then I look up and like we have like $500,000 production thing, and it's dark on stage. There's just like a couple house lights.
Oh,
but like,
God.
but what's crazy?
Playing
is,
a wedding or something.
What's crazy is like like
Did you still play?
Oh, we still played. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, it just it makes you feel unconfident even if you're killing it because
Right.
like there's the whole thing that we're doing, and when there's no video, there's no lights, and it's just us playing, and half the shit that we're trying to play, like the computers aren't working, they're not syncing, so we're like, okay, we're gonna kind of do this alternate version of this with what we have, you know.
Holy shit.
So you know, like
Look at you.
that was one that was definitely like, but you know, at the same time, it's like. And this proves that I've had shows where I've been like, that was awesome, and I've walked off stage, people are like, yeah, that's all right, I like you this time. And I've had shows where like I was like, I'm gonna quit tomorrow, and people are like, dude, that's the best I've ever seen you, you know. And people are posting like, this is amazing, and doing videos of like when the lights were down, you know, and they were still just like, this is probably the best. So it's like, it makes you realize that like as long as you still put your heart out there, it's not going to be a bad show,
Right.
You know, it's just like when like all the shows that I've done where it's like 20 people there, you know, and you can think about it being like, oh, like. They all think I suck, but no, everyone that's there is like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I get a private show. Like people are idiots that they don't know about this. You know,
Yeah,
it's like those are
exactly.
shows where like I try to even go harder.
Yeah.
Because those people are gonna be like, dude, I got to see the most amazing show, and I had the whole dance floor to dance and all this stuff. It's like if you treat it like a 20-person show and a failure from when you walk on, it's like you're gonna have less the next time because those people that came out are gonna be like, he didn't care because
Those
there wasn't
people
enough people.
still paid.
Yeah.
The
You know?
re-emergence
The reemergence.
of Michael Menert.
I feel like he was always.
You've
emerged.
never stopped. I remember I
Yeah.
saw you. You just sold out. You did your solo show. You sold out in Fort Collins or something.
Cervantes.
Cervantes. Yeah, you had
Big
Mikey
room.
Thunder sit open.
Yes.
I think
believe
I was.
So.
Was I there for this? I feel like I was, but I
Yeah.
can't remember.
God damn.
Yeah.
this
That
is-
was me.
My-
and Jules did.
Michael, you sat here.
So
We did like
shit
3
now.
songs.
Like, was I
They
there?
closed the show, dude.
Yeah, you played the last 20 minutes, Nick.
Well,
Yeah.
we are
forgot about
honored.
that.
We are honored
I'm
to
honored.
even share your presence because
Hey.
the Pretty Lights things is fucking cool.
It is.
You are a bad motherfucker.
Thank you.
And so you have Halloween, 2 more Halloween shows, and then what else?
Caverns,
Caverns.
which is an
Ooh,
Arnold
sick.
festival.
God, that would be sick.
That's
So
like
yeah.
a festival you're hosting with other
Yeah.
artists
So
too,
we
right?
brought out a bunch of our friends. We got like Nelly coming out
Late
there
night?
and late night radio.
Like
and-
Nelly, Nelly
No,
from St.
no.
Louis.
No, like Ryan Nelly.
Okay.
But you would love Ryan Nelly.
All right, cool.
Yeah, but you know, it's like a big homie fest. I'm doing my Mossy project, side project there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a late night in the Caverns.
Everything's sold out, right?
Everything's sold out.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
So yeah, the Caverns,
Sorry.
and then after that it's SF, and then we close out in the end of November in New Orleans.
No
Let's
New
go.
Year's.
Oh, he's coming home for the last show.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Where's it at?
It is at the Mardi Gras World.
Oh, sick. Oh, dude.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. You know, it's and it kind of we actually have a little bit of time before then, so I'm hoping we can get together because it's like we did so much rehearsal before the tour, and then it's been like sometimes we have back-to-back weekends, but sometimes it's 3 weeks apart, and it's like, I mean, you know, from playing in a band,
Yeah.
it's like it takes like a half a set for the chemistry to like
Yeah.
re-gel because you're just like you're all in your own head spaces,
Right.
and it's like, but you know, a lot of nights, a lot of places we go, we have like 2 to 3 hour rehearsals every day of the show.
Sick.
So you know, we're playing that and then 4 hours of sets.
Fun.
Well, they're just getting started, people.
Yeah.
If you haven't got a ticket, maybe there'll be a tour next year, but I'm not going to say yes, and he's not going to say yes. We're going to keep it a surprise.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
We
We're
don't
gonna
know
see-
yet.
We're going to see how this goes first.
We're going to see how this goes first. All sold out. Michael, thanks for being on the show.
Yes.
Thanks. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Congratulations on all your success. And
Hell yeah.
now that you live in Denver, let's have some hangs.
Let's do some more ghost stories.
All right, cool. There, guys. Enjoy Luke from the special.
Yeah.
Everyone clap.
Oh shit! I thought we were recording already.
Ready?
Oh, fuck.
Come on.
Sorry.
At least
at
you didn't
that.
do the applause thing.
And we're back.
Luke.
Your band is getting famous, bro. It's stoked. I'm
Calm
stoked
down. It was
to
just
see
a
it.
co-bill.
No. You can tell when people show up
No,
early.
people talk about you
that
guys.
people are stoked to see Lespecial. And I see your shirts. I see them everywhere.
I'm noticing more merch.
What's the game plan as you get more famous?
The game plan?
Yeah, you have everything strategized. You're a very strategy type of person, I could tell.
Really? Does it seem like that?
Oh, fuck
Okay, yeah. It's all going according to plan so far.
Let's go. We love to hear it.
Yeah.
We love to hear it.
Just following the roadmap that when, me, John, and Rory got together in John's mom's house, when we were 16.
Right.
We said 2023, Luke's going to go on the Frasco podcast.
That doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist yet. Is famous. Yeah, but we knew,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, do you guys still like each other? Everything all good? You guys fight? Is it more famous? Everyone asks for more money? Give me the inside deal.
Yeah, we all like each other, but we all still fight,
That's how you know you like each other.
That's how you know you like
That's
each other.
exactly. No, we got a great team and a great system, and coming off the biggest tour we've done in November and December,
Yeah.
the tour with Sun Squabby.
So sick.
Yeah, it was wild, and so we all took some time, but we get on the phone every week with our crew, with our team, and we try to keep shit moving, but also try to give each other a little personal space.
How do you guys stay inspired? I know you're like a virtuoso musician. What's the game plan for when you're on this like jam band? Because it seems like everyone's you have a lot of fans who follow the tour.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Try to change it up. Like, do you have play more Primus? Play more. What do you got?
It's wild because just trying to change a different
just
Primus
gonna
song every night.
Copy
is actually-
Primus. Who else do you copy? Give me some ideas for next year. It's like I need to freshen it up.
I need to freshen it.
I'm doing the horror every night.
It's honestly a good question because it's like, we're not a typical jam band.
Yeah.
Like the set list is totally different every night. But we do try. We try
so you
to
play the bangers?
We try
every
and
night?
play the bang. We switch it up each night, but we have
Yeah.
our bangers, our go-tos.
Sick.
You're not like a traditional jam band. You know what I mean?
Thank you, Nick.
You're jam band adjacent, as I like to say.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it.
Because you're not you guys have songs, first of all, so that helps. And you make real records, so that's kind of
Yeah.
the thing jam bands don't do.
And you're really good with marketing. I see your logo fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Who drew that? You?
The tri-face was drawn by our friend Feather, who was like a childhood friend of ours that lives in Norway now. Yeah, Feather. And she's done all our album artwork. Like most of our merch has come from a design that she makes.
Right.
And then our boy Chris, CB Video Marketing, and our manager Claw take
Hell
up.
yeah.
He's in the house. Shout out.
Shout out to Chris.
Yeah.
Woo!
Let's go.
He's over there. Look, he's doing media
working.
marketing right now.
He's working
as we speak.
I love it.
And so him and Claude just kind of run with it and make all these different designs. And we've worked with some really badass artists this year. I tease Claude and I tell him he's kind of got this like jam band metal artwork niche
Right.
that he's kind of finessed.
That's cool.
So it's got skulls and like daggers and shit, but there's also, like a bong or something.
Yeah,
so
sick.
it's,
I love it. Are you saying no to things yet?
like in terms of what?
Like shows, like
Gigs.
people offer you shows, you say no yet?
Yeah. I see like festival lineups all the time. And I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, oh, we turned that down. I'm like, why?
No, that's fucking dope. I love it. My boy's getting famous. Let's go. Isn't it
If you're out there, I don't turn anything down.
it's nice?
Yes to everything.
It's very powerful to say no, but it's also very powerful that agents will say no before even coming to you because they know how much you're worth.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
I guess you're right. That is a good way of looking at it. Usually I'm just kind of irritated by it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
we'll take the couple G's.
Yeah. I'm like,
Fuck
I wanted
that.
to go to Costa Rica. Why aren't we going there? They're
You
like,
got
oh,
eight
well, we're
other
in
bands.
Seattle. And I'm like, well, Seattle's cool, but I'd rather be
Yeah.
in Costa Rica.
Right.
You're not burnt out yet?
Oh, yeah, I am.
What's going on?
I mean,
Oh, no, I'm definitely burnt out.
You gigged so hard last year
Yeah.
with all your projects.
yeah, it was an intense year.
So you taking a couple time off? I mean,
I'm trying to. Yeah, it's funny. I was just talking to Eccles, your guitarist in the kitchen before, and it's like you get off these tours, and you're like, he's like, man, I'm still beat from tour, and I was like, when did you get off the road? And he's like, 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
The recovery time is intense, and yeah, we're just kind of always doing stuff. So when
Right.
we're not on the road, we're trying to finish an album, or we're getting ready for like a themed show. I played with some really dope bands this year. I got to fill in with the Funky Dogs brass band.
I love that. I love those guys.
They're so dope.
Yeah.
We started a new band with Mike Dillon. Fucking A.
I love that.
Yeah,
So that's like a dream match made in heaven.
Yeah, it's
Who else in
amazing.
it?
It's just John, Rory, myself from Lespecial, and Mike Dillon.
Oh, it's you guys with Mike Dillon.
It's pretty much,
basically.
yeah.
Okay,
And it's
okay.
When
like,
is Mike going to join your band, Lespecial?
well, his fucking A is now, this is our hybrid
Yeah,
project.
now you have like
my
a
God,
second
let's
thing.
go.
You can
I
do.
love it. I love it.
You would love it, Frasco.
Oh, I love-
it's why. I mean,
Mike
he's
Dillon
Mike Dillon.
rules.
I mean, he's a punk rock icon. You
Yeah.
know, he's a complete.
Wow, this is exciting if Mike joins your band. Well, it kind of is.
Yeah, I mean, now, dude,
Side
we
project.
kind of started it this summer. We came out and we did a little rehearsing and recording at Color Red, and then we hit like some mountain towns. We hit like Pagosa Springs and some places around there, and did a little run. And it just was a blast, and the energy was so dope that we were like, yeah, let's just start a fucking band. So we're doing this little run in the Northeast, and right when I get home, I got to like relearn all these songs.
Wow.
And the Mike Dillon songs are like not easy.
No, not.
They're psychotic.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
Singing it
psycho
too?
jazz. Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
like he loves when we play with him because he plays with so many
Right.
talented musicians, Nikki Glaspie and Brian
yeah.
Haas,
Everybody,
and
man.
everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
he's the best. But with us, like he just jumps up on the PA speaker and is just screaming, doing his like best jazz Iggy Pop, and we're just
Right,
back there with like
right.
distortion and picks, and he loves that. Like we go real punk rock trio energy with him, and he gets to be the front man.
And he's still playing the
This is a dream.
marimba and stuff.
Yeah, and
too.
he'll just jump back there and just start like
Okay. So
battering.
he's doing
on
all
the-
his stuff.
doing all of
Yeah,
it, but
yeah,
he
yeah.
loves kind of being the front man with this band.
Yeah, that's
he's
fun.
I am so thankful this was perfect because Mike needs to stay around.
I know.
You know, it's like
yeah.
the Mike Dillon band's great, but I'm glad that he's getting some fresh blood in there.
Yeah.
And you guys are popping, and it just gives him a little more energy to just keep going. Because he's like, what, 50?
He's older.
60?
He's like the most ripped 60-year-old.
I can't. Yeah, he's in his 50s. He's so ripped. He was talking to.
60. I don't know how old he is.
He'll be like he said that he hung out. I forget the musician now. He was talking about some of like one of the big guys. I think like Stanton Moore. You know, like one of these like NOLA legends. And he says what up to him, and they give him a hug, and they're like, "Wow, Mike, feeling really
ripped, dude.
stiff and ripped." They're like, "What's your secret?" And he's like, "Well, I still carry my own gear."
Let's go, Mikey.
I mean, you see this guy's like, he's lugging a fucking vibraphone up and down the
Yeah.
Color Red staircase. I mean, he would destroy any of us.
Has he
in
told you any of
hand-to-hand
the
combat.
stories about when he was a heroin addict?
Yeah. I mean,
fucking
his
wild.
stories on the road. I mean, he tells them on the mic. I appreciate how open he is about all that
He
stuff.
should do a one-man show.
I love my favorite Mike Dillon
Yeah.
story is when he's like, he just got off heroin and he's like, but I need to make money. So he set up a tour where all the venues were close to the methadone centers.
Wow.
He's smart.
So we could do methadone and not get addicted to,
Luckily-
shooting meth or.
Luckily, they're usually not very far away.
Yeah.
They're
Isn't it
usually
crazy?
not part of town.
I feel like
Fucking crazy, man.
the music industry back then is way different. Like it was like cool to get addicted to meth.
I mean, it was
Nowadays, people
Cool's
are
a
like,
relative term,
not
but
cool
yeah.
anymore. I
it's
mean,
not cool to really like
Be a drug addict?
be like a heroin addict.
No. I know
No,
what you mean.
it's very-
You know what I mean? 90s
yeah.
was like everyone was doing it.
It was like
Yeah,
Kurt
yeah.
Cobain was the poster boy.
Yeah.
Kind of,
and everyone idolized those guys who were just sad and
Well, that was like the rock star look back then. The vibe was so different. Now it's like, you got to be drinking like, organic smoothies. And they're like, that's a rock star.
Yeah, it's like,
Look at him.
yeah.
He took care of
Fucking-
himself.
look at this guy.
He has two charities.
Yeah, exactly. This guy's got kale.
He has two charities. He's a fucking rock star. He's got one for kids and one for adults. That's your rock star now. You used to have to like at least die.
Yeah.
You'd be dead for like 2 minutes. That's how you become a rock star. Now it's whoever gives away the most money.
Yeah.
Have you talked to Les Claypool lately?
No, I haven't. I've never really met him or anything.
Not yet, still?
Not yet. My drummer,
Is he your
Rory,
favorite or something?
Well, he's good.
Yeah.
He's
I
my
don't
favorite.
know.
Obviously,
Yeah,
he's my favorite. Rory did a podcast with him. This podcast, Primus Tracks, that we've been on a few times. And we're friends with some of their people on their management, and Mike, obviously, and Mike will relay. Mike will be like, "Hey, check out these guys, Lespecial," and I don't know what he thinks or anything, but the circle's getting closer. So working with Mike is
Maybe
obviously
you guys
gonna
should
happen.
open for them sometime. Do they still?
I mean, it'd be cool, right?
Do they
They
still
don't have
tour
openers.
Primus?
Well, he's doing the Les Claypool's Fearless Flying Frog
Oh, that's
Brigade
right.
tour.
Oh, yeah.
They're
That's
doing,
my favorite thing of his, actually.
I don't even know if I could say that. I don't know if they announced their tour.
No,
Yeah, they did.
They announced summer camp.
They announced
Okay.
like shows, so they're going to, of
Yeah,
course,
they're
going
going to tour. We all know that.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Plus, this
So
is
have you
phenomenal.
tried to get on that to like open?
Yeah.
Maybe it's too close.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. You know, I know that we've been like pitched a couple times. You know, it all comes down to Les. Les has the final say with what bands he plays.
So cool
with.
that he's still hands on like that.
It's amazing. I mean, he's so in control of, and you know, he's got a great team. But he's like the creative director of everything they do,
he
from
is?
the art. Yeah, totally.
didn't know that.
Everything goes through Les. I mean, he's just got a lot of talents too. I mean, he used to, that guy, you know, created a record label, would make all the claymation
Made a movie,
covers,
made a fake
movies,
documentary.
wrote a book. He's a prolific dude. That's why he is probably my favorite musician. It's not just like, yeah, he is crazy at, you know, slap bass, but I mean, he's like a prolific creative genius.
Is it true that he drives his own bus or something like that?
Yeah, he owns his bus, La Fonda. It's like this badass old coach bus.
Yeah.
He drives it with his wife Cheney. They go like fishing all across the country. He's a road dog like Mike. These guys just they pick like their routes that suit their lifestyles.
Right.
He just goes fishing. He loves it, man.
I love that.
It's amazing.
It gives us hope that, you know, going back to the burnt outness.
Yeah.
Figure out ways to make this life still work where you don't feel burnt out or missing out on the other things in life, you know?
It's tough, man. It's that balance you kind of have to strike, and it's to make it, you know, you're not just like dogging away every night and like, you know, dragging your body on stage, but have enough time to do your own show. I mean, you guys just finished a ridiculous tour.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm like, yeah, you know, this is the biggest tour we've done, then it'll be like Frasco's like
5 months
tour dates
straight.
around. I'm like, what the fuck
Yeah,
are you
we're
doing,
psychopaths.
dude?
Yeah, this is like a bit next chapter. Last year was the next chapter in our life. So now we're not doing that anymore.
You said that
Really?
before last year too, though.
I looked at my tour schedule this year. It's not as much as
Didn't
I
you
used
literally
to.
dropped a West Coast tour announcement this morning?
Yeah. No, that's been out. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that.
It's only 2 weeks, so that's
We're taking it easy. I'm like, bro, I checked your Instagram
You're
before.
the same ADD fucking psychopath too, Luke. You're out here doing miscellaneous gigs with all. We're with the Funky Dogs in Nebraska.
Yeah, well, it's, you know.
How do you manage? What do you like? What are your hobbies that like make you not think about music for a second?
Well, it's hard because it's like when I'm coming out to Denver and all of a sudden, like I was coming out to just chill and hang with Chris and we were going to do some skiing, and now I'm like gigging every day. But, you know,
yeah, but you don't want to go skiing.
Oh, so you're not
Rather
even
make
going
money?
skiing anymore?
I might. If I have time on Monday, I'm going to try and go skiing. But everything just got filled up, which is great. You know, I came out last January. We kicked it last January at Cervantes. I DJ'd with Com Trues. And
That was dope.
That was a blast.
I love Com Trues.
Me too. That synthwave shit is actually, so that's what's been inspiring me lately, bro. Basically, I've been listening to a ton of synthwave. I got picked up they're like, do you want to come out and DJ at your mom's house? And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. And I hit up Fro and he's like, yeah, I'm there. I'll drum. And
I love it.
I got inspired to make this mix that I just recorded before I came out here. It's a synthwave 80s werewolf movie inspired mix.
Wow.
So I've just kind of been like watching werewolf movies and like mixing synth.
Yeah,
And
that's what
synthwave shit.
Gerlach said. You're really into horror.
Yeah. Me
I
and
like
Gerlach are
synthwave. I'm also
spooky
way
boys.
into synthwave.
You fuck with Gunship, Gerlach?
Yeah, but I make a lot of synthwave.
You
too.
make some?
Yeah.
You want to, let's make some together.
Okay, I'm down.
You free this week?
I actually
Fucking psychopath.
Sunday.
No. I'm gonna be.
You were gonna applause that.
No,
That didn't work.
No. No way. Luke,
Yeah.
you need to chill.
All
you need
right,
to take breath.
You don't need to chill.
Go make love with some mountain women.
Don't
go
do that.
out there.
No, make
go out
songs.
there. Go out there. Go in the. I texted. I remember I texted.
Don't
you.
listen to him.
Wear condoms. I just like on the Insta story. Are you a single man?
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay. Yes.
I know, Frasco. You keep me in order though when you responded to my stories.
I got you.
You're like, wear a condom. You're about to blow up.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm serious, Luke.
I wrote it down, man. It's in my planner on my phone.
Frasco says, "Do not come in anybody."
Yes.
I don't think that you should take breaks or relax at all. Actually.
Why?
Just wait till it all dies.
What?
Then you
Well,
can.
my career.
Yeah, it'll
No,
happen.
but like his no, Nick, his inspirations are like dudes who are lifers.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like if you're gonna go burn it at both
Burn it.
candles when you're young, you're not
Sleep
gonna
when
make
you're
it to
dead,
80.
brother.
No, you gotta take a breath.
Sleep when you're dead. That's my motto.
Take
Yeah.
it from me. I'm a lifer.
Yeah.
but I'm
We're
tired.
all lifers.
How old are you?
I just turned 34 last week.
Okay, we're same age.
You're
So-
34?
34.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
Wow. No, it's
What-
scary.
what-
I don't know. I've been starting to dream more.
Yeah.
Why are you drinking less or something?
I'm drinking less and I'm not smoking as much.
Maybe you're
weed.
actually getting REM sleep because you
Really?
You're probably sleeping deeper actually because you're like actually sleeping.
Yeah.
You're not like in some hotel half drunk. You know.
Right.
And like gummies.
I have fucked up nightmares just constantly.
Yeah.
It's never good. I never have like a chill dream.
I usually just wake up.
You have
when I start to
nightmares?
dream.
Yeah. People think it's because I watch a lot of horror movies. I'm like, maybe I'm just deeply traumatized. I don't know. But
Maybe
like,
it's the other way around.
all-
Maybe you watch.
Hold
a
on,
lot of,
let's go
maybe it's
into
all
this.
One thing.
I don't know.
This is good to talk about.
Okay. Yeah.
What have you had nightmares your whole life?
Yeah.
No,
Like
shit.
recurring crazy like drowning nightmares.
Oh,
Like
it sucks. I've had that one.
That's the worst.
you know the dream. Like, did you ever have the dream? I had this recurring one when I lived in Scotland as a kid, and I just like associated with Scotland, like because I was just every night I feel like I would have this dream where I'm like skipping across this little stream that was near my house. It was like these little rocks that I would like jump across, and I would fall in. And then it would go to this like wide out angle where I'm just like a speck sinking in like this massive abyss of water.
Oh, that's my biggest fear too.
Really?
I can't
That's some
fly over
psychological
water because I'm afraid that I'm just gonna drown in the water.
I mean, you can.
I know,
You
but
just
I'm
don't
like,
it.
that's when I have most anxiety.
oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
when I'm
yeah,
like
yeah.
flying over water or on a boat.
Really?
A sailboat.
You're scared of? Are you scared of like drowning? Or
I think
like,
I'm scared of drowning.
My nightmares are more like usually like I'm trying to do something and I can't do it. It's not even like a scary thing.
Oh, it's like, you're trying to do
muscle
something.
like I can't get to a gig and like there's something going on and they're like starting the gig without me and like I don't have and like but I'm standing right there but I can't get there. You know what I mean? Or like it's similar to the going to school with no pants on kind of dream probably like it's more like I can't do this thing. I usually wake up during my dreams. I think that's kind of why I have insomnia. I think I just wake up when I start.
like
dreaming.
your nightmares are all like situational though.
Yeah.
You're like I gotta play at Cervantes and then at New Conscious.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And I missed the New Conscious.
It's like Sideman nightmares.
I have nightmares like that too. Like I'll have nightmares that I like fuck up a song live and
yeah.
and there'll be like like beef on stage or something.
I
like
never
that,
worry about
you know?
making mistakes. I guess.
Do you have FOMO?
In terms of
Fear
what?
of missing out of anything?
Of anything? Yeah, totally. I think that's part of the
Part of
reason
the
I like to.
nightmares?
Well, I think just I like to be active and do different and play shit. And if I see something like if I see some like festival lineup or a tour, I'm like I want to be on that man. Shit.
What about going back to these nightmares? Do you think what in your brain you weren't accepted as a kid?
No, I think that I was kind of like I was a little bit of a prick like in school.
Oh,
like
really?
I was always just fighting.
You used to fight people?
No, I didn't fight people. I just fuck with people.
Oh,
Like,
you're
I
like the
just-
Bart Simpson vibe, maybe?
Yeah. I was a little bit
That's
of a.
fine.
I was a
Yeah.
bad little boy for sure.
So did anyone call you out and then you realize you were being an asshole?
Yeah, totally. Like my core group of friends back then are like they're like still like my best friends now. Like my boys French and Gary and all them. They're all like bigger than me. But like if I was a punk, like they'd push me around, just be like, "Yeah, shut the fuck up," and I'd be like, "All right." So I would talk shit, but I could get put in my place too. You know?
Where'd
what I
you
mean?
grow
Like, well, I grew up in Connecticut.
Okay.
I lived in England and Scotland for a little bit when
Oh,
I was
sick.
young, but I moved to Connecticut when I was 10.
The main streets of Bridgeport.
No.
Oh.
I just live closer to there now in Kent, Connecticut.
There are some rough areas of Connecticut, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Hartford.
Hartford sucks.
What's
yeah.
what's the scariest dream that you still remember?
Man, I had a fucked up nightmare the other night, and I got to start doing that whole like wake up and write down your dream thing.
Yeah.
But man, I had some fucked up dream the other night. It's hard to put into to remember like there's a narrative. It's like more like a feeling. Like
Right,
I'm
right,
put
right.
somewhere. I'm in some like dark fucking building, and somebody's holding me hostage there, or somebody's chasing me. Or, it's just these weird kind of like I'll have a feeling that it's like some early 2000s like who's the guy that like directed all like those shitty remakes, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake?
Not Rob Zombie.
No.
Because his are actually kind of
His are
good.
actually
But
good.
I know what you're talking about. I can't
Paul
remember his
Rodriguez?
name.
Well, no.
No.
It's like the Bloomhouse production
Yeah,
ones.
yeah,
like
yeah.
those. Like they're these very like gritty
they're
looking.
not good at all.
They're not good. There's always like hooks.
Yes.
I think I just watched too many of those fucking movies.
So you're more into the gore stuff than I am.
No, I'm not really though. Though I would watch that shit as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, now no, I like 80s horror shit. I
That's
like
when it was the best.
Yeah, I like slashers. And,
Because it was cornier then.
Do you
But-
beat off to like horror porn?
Okay.
No, I don't beat off to horror, but just horror movies.
Oh, cool.
You know,
Yeah, who needs the porn? He's already got the murder.
It's already it's really just
Who needs
about
the
the
sex?
bloodshed for me.
He saw a woman get murdered. That's all he needs.
What about Punisher 2?
Punisher 2?
The one or with Ed the Clown.
Ed the Clown.
Oh, you talking about Terrifier?
Terrifier.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I mean, I heard that's like torture porn. Have you seen it?
No, but I've
seen
heard
it?
it's the scariest
No, I'm
movie
not
of all
really into
time.
the torture kind of like Saw. Don't like those.
Yeah,
Really?
I would go and see the Saw movies when they came out. I liked
Where's
having
the chase? You know?
They were terrible, but they were like the franchise movie. Like, you know, if I grew up like in the 80s, I would have been seeing the Friday 13th movies every Halloween.
Yeah,
or the
those are
Halloween.
good, but those are still a little campy for me too.
Oh, they're campy, but you know, like every generation has their franchise.
Definitely better than Saw.
They're better than Saw, but I would go and see the Saw movies just because they were like they felt like my generation's franchise. But I can't even watch that shit now. The Saw movies are absolute garbage.
It's too much for me. I'll take I think of this generation, the Scream franchise. Even though it's kind of more of a comedy, it's kind of the best horror too.
I agree. Yeah, I saw the new Scream in theaters when I was in Denver last year,
and it kind of
had a blast.
revived that whole genre too. You know?
Yeah, the slashers are just kind of come and go. You know what I mean?
Is synth going back to the synth rock? You said, what do you call it?
Synthwave.
Synthwave. It's like Doom Flamingo synthwave.
Yeah, for sure. Like Ross from Doom Flamingo kind of got me into some of this shit. He showed me this band Carpenter Brute.
That guy's the shit. Well, it's two guys.
It's two guys.
Yeah,
right? That shit is
They played Fillmore.
Did they? You see him?
I didn't go. I couldn't go, but they.
Oh man, they got this album Leather Terror
because they don't come to America that much.
That shit is fun. Yeah, I mean, like since the whole like '80s
You're
werewolf,
more into, like the dark synthwave.
I like the dark
Yeah.
shit, man. I like. I mean, John Carpenter is one of my favorite all-time composers. So when you mix in like horror movie samples with '80s synthwave, like the shit just works. I'll like crossfade like Escape from New York and like some John Carpenter synth, and then go into like a Carpenter Brute or Gunship track, and they work. And that's when you can tell like the synthwave bands now are successful because it's like, yeah, your shit sounds like a John
The Weeknd's
Carpenter
new
80s
album,
synth.
very influenced by that.
The Weeknd?
His newest
I
album.
haven't heard it.
It's very synthwave like influenced.
Yeah,
but it's kind of like they made it a little too like poppy too on top of it, so it kind of took like the edge out of it.
Okay. I mean, I guess I heard like the single,
but I'm also into like there's also like a hip hop version of synthwave that's really tight too, where it's like more based on like the R&B '80s samples. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I like that.
And then there's
too.
Calm Trues, like who I played with last year. That's almost even more minimal.
Yes,
I mean
it's like
that's
techno almost.
Yeah. That's just shit that you just like drive along to like a city at sunset, cruising.
Who drives in your band?
Chris, CB Video Marketing drives the van.
Really?
He drives the whole time.
Yeah, he does a lot of.
Is he like a control freak and he won't let you drive, or you guys just don't want to?
Both.
Okay,
so
that works.
It works.
That's good. Wow. Yeah. What about composing films? Would you ever do that?
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to do. We've dabbled in it. We scored an episode for a Vice web series during quarantine. Yeah.
How was that?
It was amazing. It was so cool. It was about it was friends of mine that I went to school with that work for this Vice web series called Source Material, and they were making all these amazing documentaries in 2020 with like found footage and things like that. Like, so this episode was on the bushfires in Australia. And so they tapped us to score it, and we wrote all this music for it and sent it in. And they're like, okay, they're into it, but they say it's too heavy and too intense.
Right.
Yeah.
And which was and it's you realize,
well, scores are like
they're supposed to be background.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we were playing like diminished riffs, like just like boom, down. And they were like, yeah, no, not that.
You're the background. Yeah, exactly.
And I got it. Maybe it's like a lesson too. Like this isn't for you. This is to feed.
Yeah.
Well, I think that it was a lesson for sure in how to go about doing it. And then we took another stab at it, and we kind of ended up like sending them stems and chopping stuff up, and they brought in some other composers too. So it ended up being more collaborative.
Oh, cool.
They didn't want it to just be a straight band thing, but yeah, I mean, we've been talking more about trying to get into like video game scoring. So any of
that would make more sense for like what you guys do for sure.
Some video game shit.
Yeah, because you can be more aggressive with that stuff. I feel like
that's true.
Especially if it's not like a storyline video game. If it's like you know what I mean, like a platformer or something.
I would love to do some like retro platformer shit.
Yeah.
What is the dream sounds for a horror film?
It's a great question. There's so many different things. Like, when you talk about the 80s shit, like it's that synth stuff. I mean, John Carpenter's created the most iconic horror film score of all time, Halloween 1978.
Which is crazy because he's not even really a composer. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, have you ever checked out his like Lost Themes album he does with his son, Cody Carpenter?
Yeah, but what I'm saying, like he
incredible.
started out as a director.
Yeah, true. Yeah, for sure.
And he's like, oh, I'm going to write music for the studio, and he just turns out to be amazing at it.
Yeah. I mean, I think like I love that aspect. I love the Friday 13th music. It's inspired by like Bernard Herrmann, like Psycho, very violin, screechy, scratchy.
Yeah.
So you can go either way. I mean, you could go Danny Elfman, like the oompas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many different things you could do, but it can also be boring. Like a lot of horror movie music can just be like ominous tones.
Yeah.
You know what I felt was a horror? Probably wasn't No Country for Old Men because of the music. It was like siren-y.
It's like a thriller though.
Barely any music in it too.
Yeah.
Like there really wasn't much of a score.
Yeah.
It's just like a little bit of sound design.
Just like when he came in.
Bro, that's a good argument. I'd make an argument that's a horror movie.
Maybe.
Anton
Scary.
Chigurh, he's like a slasher.
Oh,
Maybe
he was like,
Could be a thriller.
can
Yeah,
a serial
thriller,
killer show be a horror film?
Yeah, that's what Halloween is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, for sure. Yeah. The slashers are typically serial killers.
Wow.
But there's so many, you can make an argument for so many movies. I've heard an argument that Terminator is a slasher. But it's,
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
I think it's a sci-fi like
It's a sci-fi thriller action.
yeah.
But you could see like, okay, it's this guy that's chasing down.
Sure,
a
I'll
woman
listen to the
and he's-
argument, but I don't agree with it. But I'll listen.
Okay, you didn't even hear it. I didn't say it.
I already know, you know what I'm saying. Though?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're interviewing Nick Gerlach today. This is
Well, no, I get what you're saying though.
co-host.
No, I get why though. You know what I mean?
No, I disagree as well.
Yeah.
It's a fun. I love that discussion of is it horror, is it not? I think that
Sure.
in general, it's just a lot of films can have horror elements without being strictly horror.
Yeah.
What about what's the worst era for horror films?
Worst era. That's a great question.
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Yeah.
I think just what we were saying. Like they were kind of remaking. It was very not creative.
Yeah.
There was, like when they were remaking movies like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The Hills Have Eyes remake I actually enjoyed.
Yeah.
The Friday 13th one from like 2009. But they just ran at like the 90s were fresh because they were bringing back slashers from the 80s. But
Right.
movies like
Yeah.
Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, they felt fresh and they were like sexy and
Yeah, and they had sexy. Yeah, they had that vibe to it.
they were hot.
Early 2000s music kind of sucked too. Maybe it's like a whole thing.
Yeah, it was just kind
Like
of
the pop
yeah.
music then wasn't that good either.
It's true. Yeah, I think just that was a little bit of maybe not a high point.
9/11
culturally.
ruined everything.
Yeah, we'll blame it on 9/11.
Best era of horror.
I think it depends on who you ask. I think for me, personal favorite, like I love 80s slashers, but I also love the crazy creativity and grit of like 70s horror.
Right.
I love
Those were shot really well.
They're-
Those 70s.
Yeah, yeah.
horrors.
totally, man. Just handheld camera.
It was so cheaply done, yeah.
But it was even like late sit like Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a
Yeah.
favorite. I watched Black Christmas this Christmas. That's considered like one of the first slashers.
What if you went like 1977 to 1983? That'd probably be like my favorite era.
That's Friday 13th right in
Then
there.
you get the early
1980.
80s slashers.
I go to 84. 84's
Okay.
got my Friday 13th Part 4, which is my favorite.
That's true.
So yeah, I think that 78 and
Like that
84.
that little
I think that's
crossover.
it. I think we just nailed
I
it.
interviewed Margaret Cho last week, and
Yeah.
she's obsessed with horror films.
She is?
Yeah, obsessed. Like
No way.
that's her thing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And
Weren't
she-
you on the interview?
No, I just did the opening.
She
on that
just
one.
opened it. But she's saying all these like mind fuck horror films are like really dope, like Midsummer.
Yeah.
And like what else
That's
is
cool.
what other
Hereditary.
Hereditary?
There's
Same guy.
a move last year. A film came out called *Malignant*. That
yeah.
was, that is a mind fuck, crazy, like just taking a lot of different elements but making it very modern and very new. There's a movie that came out this year. A lot of people have been talking about *Barbarian*.
Well, that was sick. That
seen
movie,
What's that?
Barbarian?
No.
dude, I love that. Did you see it?
Oh
I'm
hell
kinda,
yeah!
to be honest, hot take. I'm kind of scared of horror
Yeah,
films.
It's okay. It's not
This
a hot
one's
take.
awesome.
There's
Yeah.
people listening right now that that share that
Well,
sentiment.
give me what's Barbarian about?
Bbarbarian is Airbnb horror.
Yeah, but don't. What? We can't. Like, there's a huge.
It's right up your alley.
Yeah,
bro.
there's like a massive twist in it. You can't really say what it's about or ruin
Yeah.
the whole twist. There's like a
Really?
twist like halfway through, kind of.
Yeah, it's true. It's something you can't go too deep into the
Yeah.
plot. It's definitely a movie go in blind, but like people like describe like ultra horror. It's like up
Yeah.
close and it's intense and it's like visceral.
And it's very unique, I think.
It's very unique. It's brilliant. It's terrible. It just keeps taking turns and you have no idea what the next thing is. It starts off and it's just kind of a creepy, like, okay, two people seem to be renting out the same Airbnb at the whole time. But you're constantly wondering what's going to happen next. Who's the villain here? Who's the bad guy?
And it really
Who's going to
changes.
kill who? And it just, there's left turns and then there's just like fucking bonkers 180s and it goes to places you would never think.
Is Schindler's List a horror?
Well,
Like, what is the definition of horror?
That's a great question.
Let's look it up.
That's a real
I'm
life. It's
actually
based on a
looking up the
real
actual
life
definition.
horror.
Yeah.
But it's like I think that horror when you're talking about a
Is it
film,
like imaginary horror?
I think you can have real life horror. You like the Dahmer shit that everyone watched this year. I didn't watch it, but because that to me is too real.
Yeah, it's
I don't
real.
I don't need to
wonder
watch
if
this guy be a
I wonder if it has
psycho.
to be
like-
fictional
Yeah.
to be horror.
I want fiction. Well, I think that you could do a real life horror, but it's a style. It has to be more stylized
Exactly.
to be considered horror.
Wow.
And Schindler's List was more of like a historical kind of epic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What was Schindler's List? Can we get a genre? Can we get on IMDb?
Yeah,
check
Schindler's
on
List.
Is Cocaine Bear a horror?
Oh, I haven't seen
That's
it. Is it
probably-
out yet?
I just saw a trailer. It looks awesome.
It looks insane.
Who directed it? Elizabeth Banks.
I don't know.
Who did?
Elizabeth Banks. She does like
Elizabeth Banks, the
I think
actress.
She directed it. Yeah.
She's been in a couple horror movies too. She was in
Yeah.
like Slither.
She
I love
directs
Elizabeth
stuff, too.
Banks. Oh, she's amazing. Yeah,
Schindler's List genre.
It's got to be drama.
drama. It's got
War, history, and drama. Historical drama.
See if you can add horror as a genre tag.
All right, we should. I want to know your top 10 horror films of all time.
Oh man,
You probably already talked about this on your podcast, but
Well, no, I haven't done the podcast, and so that's what Nick and I have talked about. I had this podcast called Dead Last Podcast. It's still out on like iTunes and SoundCloud and Spotify and stuff. I did it in Boston with a comedian friend of mine, Brandon Valley.
Cool.
It was a blast, man. It was so much fun. And
you were living in Boston?
yeah, I was in Boston
I think
for a
I
while.
met him when we played there. He like bartends.
I think you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He bartends at
Well, I don't know. He doesn't bartend,
Or
but
he
he
was
goes.
working there,
He was
or
working
he was
somewhere.
hanging.
I feel like you guys did meet.
it was when I opened for you in Boston. He
Yeah,
was-
yeah,
he
yeah.
was
No,
there.
I might have just Okay, I wasn't there. Okay. We tried to do it. Yeah, I lived in Boston for 8 years. I went to Berkeley and then just stayed there and played in a bunch of bands there.
Oh, you went to Berkeley?
Yeah, I'm a Berkeley nerd.
Did you guys all go there?
Did you graduate?
I graduated.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'll clap for that.
Thank you.
Good job.
Not a lot of people do that.
I know. Yeah. Well, I wanted to get a degree from there. You know what I mean? Like I was in Lespecial before that.
Yeah.
Rory and I both went there. Johnny went to Bennington, Vermont, but I didn't go there to get a band. I went there to get a degree. A whole lot of good it's done me on tour, but
Well, you're famous now.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's go.
I thought you guys actually met at Berkeley.
No. We knew we were a band in high school.
I didn't know
Rory,
that.
I went to a different school, and Rory went to Berkeley, and I was like, I'm going to go to Berkeley.
Can I
So-
ask you something?
Yeah.
How much did it end up costing you, the whole thing?
The Berkeley?
How much did it cost?
I mean, it was like 40,000 for like a year.
So it was 100. You got it, $120,000 debt.
No, 160. 4 years.
I went for 3 years because I transferred from another school where I was a music major, so I was able to like transfer the credits over.
120,000.
But look, the money was crazy. I mean, it's an insane amount of money. But like
And you live in Boston.
my whole family helped pay for it, and
Yeah.
that was like a deal. They were like, look, like we'll help pay for school if you graduate and if you go and like
Yeah.
do it because it's not.
And every private school is that much right now.
I mean, yeah.
not like
It's insane. It's insane. It's not like paid off. But
Seems like
yeah,
state schools are that much right now. I don't know, but
It's got to be so wild. Like, think about like, you hear the success stories of Berkeley, but you also don't hear about the not success stories of Berkeley,
Yeah.
where it's like
they're not doing podcasts.
They're not doing. Yeah, there's 160K, student loans, and you give up on the dream because it's just like not what they want to do.
Yeah. I mean, I get people go there for like, you go there, you get loaded up on like software and then bounce. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I get that, or you just find a cool band. But the networking was cool. You know, you do meet a lot of people. Like we played at Paradise last week, and like so, like a bunch of people that, or not a bunch, but a handful, like the people that are still there that I went to school with came out, and
Right.
that was really cool for me because it was like that Paradise was the place I was going and hanging out at. You know what I mean?
Do
Like.
people end up like staying in Boston after they do? Go to
Not
Berkeley?
really, no, not really. I mean, I stuck around for a while because the music scene was popping back in like 2012 and 2013.
Right.
And I was DJing a lot then too. It's ironic. I was like going to school, I would like DJ at like the Wonder Bar, like I had a residency there. So I'm like DJing and hanging out with all these like EDM acts and DJs and shit like that, and LED hula hoops and Jameson shots. You know the like.
Yeah. Look at you.
But then the next day I would like go to like Afro-Cuban drumming at like 9 in the morning, the head pounding, and the guy's like, "How you doing, Lou? Like, what did you do last night?" And I was like, "I DJ'd." He's like, "You don't look good."
Man, you are just like a full like arsenal of music, man.
Thank you. That's
It's pretty
it's a nice
fucking
thing to say.
amazing. You living by yourself? Or you living with roommates?
No, I moved. Me and my brother moved into our parents' house during quarantine.
love it.
I've just stayed there. I built out like a basement studio space where I can
Nice.
record and shit like that. And we've been on the road so much that it's just kind of been
Parents
the,
are chill.
You're like Pete
yeah,
Davidson.
they're great. Yeah, I guess so. I
Do
wish.
you have sex at your parents' house?
Do I or did
Yeah.
they?
Do you?
I can't. Come on, my mom is gonna like listen to this podcast.
Come on, you're a 34-year-old man. You should be
Does that
getting.
make it more or less sad?
You should be in the cheeks.
It's more.
I'm trying to figure out what way you're going
After my
there.
last birthday is
Don't you have sex
definitely
at your parents' house? You're a 34-year-old man. Like, which way are we going here?
But like everyone now
No, I
moves
know.
back to their parents' house.
Yeah, I would.
I mean, it's funny. Like, when I moved, I was living with my ex-girlfriend at the time in Boston and touring so much. I was like, this just makes literally no sense.
Right.
I'm like driving 3.5 hours to meet up with my band. And so, it was ridiculous.
insane.
And as soon as I moved back, like we finished an album, we
Yeah,
started
yeah.
to really go hard with the new merchandise and new management and touring and shit. And like all my best friends from home, like still live back there. Like
Right.
one of my best friends from 3rd grade, like he moved back in with his dad. And so we're both just like, check us out, man. We're 34. So we'll try and like go meet up and like hike and shit. But I'm not, I feel like I'm not really there a lot.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I
never
mean?
see you in Connecticut.
Yeah, I don't.
Just chilling.
What am I doing there, man?
People in
Right.
Connecticut love to leave Connecticut.
It's the best part.
Yeah.
But they love to say that their band's from Connecticut.
Yeah,
I
Goose
mean,
is from
maybe
there.
now they do.
Oh, because
But
Goose, you guys, who else?
That's it.
Aggie,
Yam Yam.
Yeah, Yam Yam's not from Connecticut.
Connecticut.
I thought they were from Denver.
Oh no, they're from
Connecticut's
East
like
Coast.
Orange
East
County
Coast?
for
Oh,
ska
okay.
bands. It's
Aggie's
Connecticut
from
for jam
Connecticut.
bands.
Yeah, there's a lot of jam bands out of Connecticut.
Well, you
Orange
know what?
County ska bands.
It's
Connecticut
fu-
jam
like-
bands.
yeah.
You're the real big fish of jam bands.
Thanks us or
I don't know. They rule
Not
though.
a jam band.
Goose is like
They're
metal
jam band
bands, man.
adjacent. They jam.
We're jam adjacent.
You're a band that jams.
But the thing about Connecticut is, like, you know, now there's more of a pop and music scene, but even growing up, it was like the proximity to other cities. It wasn't far
Right.
to New York or Philly or
Exactly.
Boston. So we got to like work those cities and not have to live there, you know. But
Yeah.
Boston was home base for a while, especially when I was living
Seems
there.
like Connecticut's a good hub. You go north, go
Yeah.
south.
Yeah.
It's like perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. These days, like the Bridgeport music scene is popping. You know, we had 2 sold out nights at this venue. You know, I mean,
It's
it's
the
a
one that starts with an S. It's
West.
right off the.
Westville.
Westville Music
Oh,
Bowl
yeah,
is
Westville.
dope.
Have you done that yet?
We haven't played it, but I
Is that the
I-
dream?
I mean, I don't know if it's the dream. Like, I go there and
For a
hang out.
hometown
on
show.
Yeah, well, for a hometown show, what we've been doing, like,
Oh,
we
yeah,
play in
that
Connecticut twice a year, and we've been doing this event called Le Getaway in October, and it's actually at a camp that I lived at as a kid.
What camp?
It's called Club Getaway
Cool.
in Kent. Yeah, you guys would love it. It's amazing. It's like peak foliage, Berkshire Mountains. Everyone gets a cabin. We have like music activities.
Yeah.
My crazy friend Bluto like dresses up like a like a Swiss guy and does a pub hike. It's
Luke, I love you, man. You're just working.
you
You
too,
work
bro.
hard. I love people who work hard.
yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah, I think, you know, people like us like to stay busy. You know what I mean? I could always work harder. I could be up at 7 a.m. like you fucking guys and in here, you know.
You gotta fight out that
You stay up
existential
until
dread.
4 a.m.
Yeah, I am
You
more
work.
of I'm a night worker.
Yeah, it's okay.
yeah.
2 to 8. That's my sleep schedule.
I had a few more questions. I want to talk
Yeah.
about the women. I did talk about that. I want to talk about the sex at the parents' house. That's once I found that out.
That was 1 and 2.
Yeah. Horror. I do want to hear your top 10 horrors.
Okay, great. We got mad sidetracked. Man, that's a great question. All right, I'm just gonna
Halloween number 1.
Gerlach knows my number 1. For sake of just rattling them off and not sitting here and like reading into my, I'm just gonna give you like my top 10 on top of my
Okay,
head.
here we go.
All right, we'll go Halloween 1978,
Great.
Friday 13th, Part 4, Jason Lives. No, sorry, that's the final chapter.
Yeah.
The Shining. I wore my yellow Shining
I love
crew
it.
neck.
I love that one.
Thank
Love
you.
it.
Thank you. Jaws. Okay, now I'm starting to get a little.
Is there no particular order? What about one of
No.
the screams? What about
Scream? Scream.
first Scream?
We'll,
Don't let him
I'm
talk.
no, it's good. I needed help there. I
yeah,
started
he
to slow
was
down.
asking for help.
I'll put Scream up there because it was just like influential as fuck for me. You know what, man? I'm a big aquatic horror movies. Like I would probably do as a part. Like they can each share the 6th spot. Would be Lake Placid and Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, I love Lake Placid.
Oliver Platt, Bill Pullman,
Betty White.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
What about,
Bridget Fonda, dude? Amazing.
What about Dante's Peak? Is that a horror?
You know,
seen that.
I put Volcano just above
What's
Dante's
Dante's Peak? That's a volcano movie?
Yeah,
What
you
about
haven't seen-
Abyss? If you like a horror.
Wait,
like water.
Hold on. Don't change the subject. You haven't seen Dante's Peak?
I don't think so.
Oh man,
What's it about?
It was with what's his name?
Pierce Brosnan, and Linda Hamilton.
And they're like escaping a volcano, basically.
Yeah.
or
They,
what?
they like live in like a nice Washington town in a it's called
Mount St.
kind of
Helens?
it's a little bit more low stakes than like Volcano.
Yeah.
It's like a volcano under LA.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
You must seen that one, Frasco.
That one scared the shit out of me.
yeah,
You're a kid in LA, like,
What
oh
about-
no, can
This could happen. This could happen.
a threat I had no idea existed.
you could have like 2 Halloween movies probably in your top 10. Even.
I could. I mean, all right, yeah. I mean,
H2O's pretty fire.
H2O is like a definitive one for me. I definitely
Yeah.
like that, and like Scream. Like I kind of put in that same '90s wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And then I guess, you know, in terms of like newer like I love a lot of newer shit. I love like The Ritual was a great like folk horror.
Yeah, that was good.
That's a good spooky. I'm trying to think of some of my like top ones. Yeah, I mean like Hereditary, Midsummer are both great. Malignant, Barbarian, all these newer movies are.
Yeah, they're getting more creative with them.
They are, and they're
Plotline
harkening
wise.
back to the '80s shit. But
Yeah.
I don't know, somewhere around there. And maybe I'll do like The Hills Have Eyes. And then maybe to like throw it back, like I'd probably do if I had to pick like a Dracula movie. I would honestly maybe even pick the ridiculous Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder,
Ooh.
Francis Ford
That was
Coppola
good.
Dracula.
Whoa.
It's it's
I'm
just
noticing
wild.
that we have a similarity in that we don't really like haunted house ghost type movies.
No, I don't really fuck with that.
Yeah, me neither.
The Conjuring movies are cool, but I don't know.
scary to me.
Houses don't scare me.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, hot.
What about you? Do you like ghost stories, haunted house kind of movies?
No,
Yeah, they're not as. It's
I don't like
It
that.
doesn't scare me unless it could kind of really happen to me a little bit.
A
At
little
least
bit.
A little bit, you know.
I think the scariest. Is Saving Private Ryan, where he slowly chokes
God.
him out.
While the
and
other
he
guy
stabs him.
Oh my
While
god,
the other
like
guy
that
stands around the corner.
One-on-one. Yeah, I hate that.
that movie
that
is
scene, dude.
visceral as
I hate
fuck,
that scene.
dude.
Like, I hate like really close death where you slowly see the death come out.
Yeah.
That's scary.
war movie. So you're more like realistic life horror.
I like
affects you
realistic
more,
shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
don't like.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, war movies they're a whole different league of horror. I feel.
Yeah,
I
like.
feel like that's horror too. Like you're
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
these 8-year-old kids just
Horror
kill
can be so
themselves.
broad.
Apocalypse Now, I would consider like
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely like elements of horror. Definitely like a
Platoon.
horror vibe to them.
Yeah.
Platoon, even I mean any of those
They're all-
Vietnam
yeah,
movies
yeah.
got shit's scary, bro.
Wow.
Shit scares
What
me more
a
than House.
fucking episode. Just anytime you're in Colorado, just come on the show.
Bro, I happy to, and it's great to be here in your studio in the house. This is it's
And you can
great.
always stay here too if Lakewood's
Thanks, buddy.
too far.
Yeah,
But you seem like you have a nice setup there.
I appreciate it. I'm bopping around, man. I'm just taking any gig that's thrown at me.
Well, Luke,
Yeah.
go have fun out here. Go get in trouble.
Yeah.
Get some sleep.
Yeah,
Have some fun at the show. I can't wait to see what the DJ. I love Fro. I love you have
Yeah.
Neil on there.
yeah, I can't wait, man.
So he's playing with you?
Yeah, he's gonna
Okay.
play drums on my whole set, and then we're gonna like jam a little bit after.
Where else are you playing?
Out here? The next night I'm gonna do this at Mile High Spirits. My friend Boone hosts a bingo night.
I
So
love that.
Yeah, it's fire. So I'm a DJ with him.
It packs out.
It does. I've been to his bingo party before. It's amazing.
That's his competition for game show hosts.
Really? You
Yeah.
and Boone?
I'm much better
He
than
does
him at it.
trivia. He does bingo. I like Boone. I like his. I
like Boone.
I love how you're You're angry.
I'm much more engaging and charismatic than him.
You guys could do like
What's
a,
harder, writing a 2-hour
B2.
trivia show or saying numbers?
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Boone.
Nick. Okay, we're done.
bingo
We're
beef
done. We're
right
done. Thank
off
you
my
guys.
island.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks,
you,
guys.
Luke. Keep
Thanks,
killing
guys.
it. I'm
Thanks,
very
brother.
proud of you. I'm rooting for you, buddy.
Thanks, brother.
You're
I know.
really killing it.
I really appreciate all the support, brother.
I got you.
Great to be a part of the family.
Yeah, Boone.
Thank you. Dude, maybe that's the Tupac and Biggie beef.
Get off my island.
Boone and Gerlach.
Bingo?
There's no jam band beef in Denver. It's just like bingo
I've been
and
trying to
trivia.
get bands. Dude, I've been trying to get bands to beef and they won't do it. They're all too nice to each other.
I love it.
They
All
won't
right.
beef.
Go have fun. Go
Thanks, buddy.
fucking live
get
that
outta
rock
here.
star life. We
All
love
right.
you.
Will do. Love you guys.
Bye.